Hello, hello, everyone. It's your friendly neighborhood streamer Yentra here with another full-on game stream here of the continuing series, which is the best place to mine Daymar. We are on part 8 of this continuing question. And we did have a couple of issues during one stream where we were on Magda, and it was a total wash in terms of stats and everything else. But let's take a look kind of where we are, where we landed from the last session where Magda actually did do some good work. So as you can see, we're still calling Daymar the winner here, and the reason why is even though Magda has pulled ahead in total profit, you can see Magda has 359,700 versus Daymar's 312,675. But the reason Daymar still is considered the best is because look at that total time. That's 239 minutes on Magda versus 166 minutes on Daymar. So still by minute, by total time and profit, Daymar still takes the cake at 1,884 credits per minute on average. So that's still beating Magda's 1,505. So that's about all I want to do with the intro. I'm loaded up here. I am on Daymar, and it is nighttime. So we're going to immediately jump to the sun. Kind of excited about this one because, you know, we're either going to see Daymar just stall, or it's just going to pull ahead. So this is a very pivotal episode for Daymar, so I hope we have some good results. Loaded up here in my Nomad. We've got the rock in the back, and we're on the pad. And as is tradition, we are timing each of these events, each of these occurrences. So that's how we're getting our time. And I start the timer right now. So that's the official start time. And of course, we are going to jump up and catch us some sun, which we've had to do pretty much most of the time.
Landing gear retracted.
And that's because the sun sets pretty quickly here. So by the time I get here, get the rock loaded up, I try to pick a station that is going to stay in the sun. But just with that little bit of activity, we can see the sun drop pretty quickly on these moons. So it is kind of a constant battle. If you want to do a full-on, stream where you're trying to stay in the sun, you're kind of fighting against that time. You only get maybe a half an hour or so of sunlight before you really start to have to chase it. So that's pretty typical, and that's been the case on both moons. So it's like to make things even. So I'm just going to get up here. I kind of want to get a little bit more distance than typical because I want to make sure I have enough marker options for myself. That's pretty good. You can see the sun's up and over here. So really what I want to do is kind of aim over here if I can. This might be just good. Let me just see if there's an OM marker over here first. That's not going to be an OM, right? Oh, that is an OM one, yeah. I'm going to opt for this. That way we can jump to a spot closer to the surface.
Quantum travel engaged.
So it's Sunday. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. I am normally not scheduled to do a stream on Sundays, but I have kind of decided that you know, it's worth doing when I have the time.
Quantum travel complete.
Well, let's see if I can get in there. Now we're not going to fly to that particular station. Let's see here. This looks good to me. I'm going to head in this direction. Yeah, I like Daymar. It's nice and flat. At least what we're looking at is nice and flat. Of course, I'm just going to kind of let these boxes go away. That is kind of my way of getting away from the jump point that we just came from. So as soon as these boxes drop off, I think we're close enough now. We're far enough away now. We can kind of just start doing our search. There's our first box. Of course, that could be a rock. We'll give it a check. There's a couple of diamonds there. Hope you're all doing well. Having a nice relaxing Sunday. I know I am. I decided I was going to stream, and it's a very relaxing time to stream for me. And that is Hadanite. That is Hadanite. So that is good. That's what we want. So let me go ahead and land. And we'll start cracking some rocks right away. That's great. It took us just about 5 minutes to find that cluster. So that's good. Can't really beat that landing. That's great.
Engine systems disabled.
Oh, look at that. You know, I was watching a couple of streams, kind of just as I do with the Star Citizen, to stay on top of what's going on. And I gotta say, it's there seems to be quite, there's a lot of negativity that kind of clouds this game, unfortunately. And I understand that. I myself get frustrated with the progress or lack of progress in the game. And, sometimes just kind of turning the channel and getting some fresh attitude is kind of needed sometimes, because, it's it can get a little over, not depressing, but just a little too much when all we hear is just negative, right? And it like I said, it can be frustrating to play this game at times, and you should know that if you're new to the game, that's kind of, you'll hear that tone brought up quite a bit when you see people who are creating content around Star Citizen. And I don't stream other games, but I would imagine if I were playing a game, that didn't crash so frequently and didn't have the amount of bugs and workarounds that we have to kind of contend with Star Citizen. I could see, kind of longing to go play another game, and that's totally fine. I'm not doing this for money. I have a day job. I'm okay, and so I don't need to be doing these streams for money. But I would imagine if I did, that the kind of position that would put me in, and I don't know. I mean, that's a decision everybody has to make. Are you, at what point does this start becoming, a job for you? And when it does, or if it does, how is that going to impact your enjoyment of the game and your obligation, your sense of obligation to stream every day or what have you? And like everybody, I'm sure everybody who creates content says the same thing. They don't want to put themselves into that position. But, unless you're delivering content nearly every day, you're going to suffer the ramifications of losing, viewers and subscribers even. And the algorithm will work again. YouTube algorithm will work against you if you're not regularly putting content out there. And that, that's kind of, I don't mean to paint a depressing picture here for you, but that is a tough spot to be in for a lot of people. You imagine these people have lives and they've got friends and family and, social obligations and maybe even work obligations that they have to manage around when they can decide to do content. And I will tell you, you're never going to see me, because that happens sometimes. Your life kind of slips into the stream. You'll see people eating on stream, and their child comes in or their dog comes in, and they got to shush them, and that's tough. That's clearly, if you're in that position, streaming is becoming, you're very serious and you're very into it. I don't want to be that way. I would rather, not that that's wrong for them. It's just wrong, sort of for me. It's not what I want. So it's more important that, people do whatever they want. I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. I'm here to, kind of set my own goals and my own. And so, this is a great fun thing, but there are certain things I won't put ahead of my stream. I won't put my family or my health, or my social, or work at risk. It's just not, it's just not needed. And what I want to do, and this is why I'm talking about all of this, by the way, what I want to do is, I would rather have some positivity. And so, that's kind of what I'm hoping you'll keep me honest, and that doesn't mean I have to be falsely positive all the time. That would be ridiculous. That's not how, things work. Seeing here, sorry to, if I seem a little distracted, it's because my Stream Elements is just not working right now. So there we go. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So yeah, I want to be positive. I want to be kind of a source of positivity. And that doesn't mean I'm going to gloss over the things in the game that are frustrating. Of course not. But there are ways of kind of sharing experiences with you, and not requiring you to get all down in the dumps because I'm complaining. So we just got a couple of rocks there broken. which is good. It's a good start. But Daymar, to pull ahead, well, not to pull ahead, to remain ahead, Daymar has to produce clusters because we've been seeing quite a bit of time between runs. And of course, if this is a find, then that's a good thing for Daymar. So yeah, if this Daymar produces clusters and fewer occurrences, that's kind of been the way it's been trending. But of course, it's a new day. And that's Aphorite. Now that, again, that's not a bad cluster to mine. We do have somebody over here. So we might be getting a little too close to that station that we warped down to. So I am going to give it a little bit more distance and a little bit more time here. So I might just, yeah, I'm just going to ignore that box just for safety. And we've kind of done this before. So kind of keep an eye on that marker. If somebody gets close to us, we may have to kind of jump off real quick and assume that they're here for no good. It's kind of between some rocks. Might be a little bit of a challenge to break in here, but it's Aphorite anyway, so we're not mining Aphorite. I think one of the things, though, when you are rock mining, you know, you don't need to necessarily be as strict as I'm being and only mine Hadanite. That, you know, that can be good, but there's nothing wrong with, you know, splitting between Hadanite and Aphorite. I would stay away from Dolvine, but, you know, if I were mining everything, I'd be breaking rocks right now. And Aphorite is the second most profitable of the three. I mean, that looks like a rock for sure. So this is kind of more typical of what we've been seeing. I'm not sure if I checked this box. So we're just going to do that. This is more typical. We're kind of at 4 minutes now. This is not... We would expect somewhere around 11 or 12 minutes per run or search. This is right on a hillside here. That could be interesting. So yeah, you know, I really do hope we can stay positive on this channel. That's a goal of mine. I'm saying that much about myself. So that's Aphorite. That's not what we're looking for. So that way this channel can kind of be a source of, you know, positivity. Maybe you're having a rough week. You know, maybe you're just kind of bummed out at the progress of the game, or maybe it's not the game at all. Maybe it's something else, and you just want to tune in and, kind of veg out and just have me on in the background. I'm told you can fall asleep to my voice. I hope I'm not, you know, that boring. But no, I'm happy to be on in the background as you do your dishes or whatever. And if you hear me getting too negative and too salty, by all means, just say so in the comments, and I will heed your warning. And again, I want to be very clear. Speaking of negativity, I'm not speaking about other people and what they do. Some people can, they can kind of pull off that negativity. It's baked into their personality enough that it's even entertaining, and that they're, really in their heart they love playing the game, and they're, even when they speak poorly of the game, they're being honest. They're not saying anything that isn't true. There's some integrity to things, because I think when we hear negative news, there's been a number of studies about this, and when we hear negative news, we have no trouble believing it as truth. That's not to say you accept it, but when I say something negative about, an apple, like, just a simple innocuous piece of fruit, you're more likely to believe me if I say something negative about that than if I say something positive. And so positive people, it's difficult to pull off that as well, to be a positive person, because you have to be genuine, and that isn't something that's easily faked or acted. We're very good at picking up when people are being fake or less genuine. So this is more of a hope. That's a single. That's a rock single. To stay positive, to be a source of positivity. And we don't have to hold hands and all sing Kumbaya together, but we can, we can definitely stay positive, right? We don't have to be negative all the time. So yeah, this game can be an exercise of patience, and you should know that. If you're not a patient person, I'm not going to tell you to not play the game, but just be aware your patience will be tested, my friend. Now, that one popped up at like 400, 600, somewhere like that, and that typically means hand minables, but I've come across a couple that sort of appear like that, and they are gems. And in fact, one time I found a cluster that way. So we'll take a peek, because if it is the correct mass, again, we're looking for 0.84 or thereabouts. Anything much smaller is a hand mineable, and we're not going to stop for those. Yeah, see, that's 0.9. Or, I'm sorry, 0.09. So that is a hand mineable. If you're interested in knowing the mass. So I don't have to jump out. And that is Hadanite, but we are not doing hand mineable. So just want to show you that. Now, the way I kind of suspected that it was a hand mineable is because that box jumped up on the radar, and I was pinging pretty regularly, but it jumped up around 800 kilometers away, and that is because it's small. And so That's sort of the trick there. Larger things appear earlier on the radar, and they're kind of in those three segments, sub 1,000 kilometers or 1,000 meters, 1,000 to about, yeah, so those are going to be rocks too. The 1,000 all the way up to about 3,000. You don't see too many things popping up in that range. But if it's between 3 and 5,000, that could be a hand mineable. And you'll find, or excuse me, a rock, something we can mine with a rock. But you will see, like in this case, it turned into a, a node or whatever you want, a star, whatever you want to call that.
75%.
And when it turns into that, before I get up and close to it, sub 1,000, see, like this is now telling me, that turned into a rock right around 1,000. But if I can get past 1,000 or closer than 1,000 meters and it's still a box, that's going to be a gemstone. And just knowing those few facts, you can find what you're looking for. So that was over 5,000. So I can safely ignore it. Now, of course, I have to keep track of that box on the left there and make sure that it doesn't distract me, because it might look like a gemstone because it's now 3,000 meters away. We've gotten closer to it. But these other ones, all these three that are up now, can be ignored. And so scouting for gemstones is probably the most easy of activities, and it's the most reliable. Just knowing those few facts about every time I've gone to a box and it's turned into a rock, not a diamond, that's because I wasn't paying attention, and or a certain set of circumstances occurred where all of a sudden it hit my radar because I have my radar set to 179. I'm just double checking that as I say that. And so I'm looking for things to the side and to my sides and immediately in front of me. Now that small rock appeared sub 1,000. So we're going to see, because it could have just been that I happened upon it. Now, those are also very close to one another. And it's 2. So they are obviously gems. And now, of course, the diamonds appeared, and we all know it's gems now. Mass is 0.85. So that's the mass range we're kind of looking for. But that isn't the material we're looking for. The mass will always pop up first, and that way if you don't see 0.85 or 84 or somewhere in that vicinity, not too far from there, you can just move on. You don't need to wait for the second scan, which shows the material. There's that 2,000 over there. But see how it disappeared. So I'm not going to go chase that. There's one right there. See, it's staying in a box. That's a good sign. It's going to be a gemstone. Now, there's only one there, unless I get closer and see more. We're not mining one. We're only looking for 2 or more, so we're going to skip that. And that's the other thing I would say, just, little piece of advice, not that you asked, but, just come up with a strategy. And, when you try to do things and you're trying to make credits or you're trying to be productive, it's best to have a strategy, that some guidelines that you're going to follow. They don't have to be the same ones as mine. but you don't want to be sitting down and making the decision based on how you feel. That's a very bad way to mine. Because what ends up happening is you'll say, oh, I was only going to mine, 2 or more, and this is just a single. I'm going to do it anyway because I feel like I need to get some money. That's fine. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but the more you do that, the less productive you're going to be. And keep in mind, it takes time for you to land, get that rock out of there, and, find what you're looking for. And that's Hadanite. We're going to mine that. So we're just going to park over here towards the sun.
Engine systems disabled.
Yeah, so that took us 16 minutes, which I think is closer to what we were seeing on Daymar before. But of course, Daymar was showing us, they were providing clusters, not 2s and 3s. So this isn't the kind of performance we want out of Daymar right now. Daymar needs this to be a pull-away moment. Such a huge delay for that door to come down. All right, well, I talked through the last break. This time we're going to have a little background music so I can rest my voice and focus and break some rocks. I'll see you on the flippity flip. Okay, good, good, good. We made short work of those 2 rocks. Now, not a lot going on. We don't have a lot stored right now. About 32 minutes in. So, you know, it's looking like this isn't going to be a blowout. But of course, one or 2 clusters can change the game here. So, we don't know. Could be. Could be. So we still have some sun. That's good.
Engine systems enabled.
I wish I could fly in third person for you, but I just can't. Can't scan while I'm in third person, of course. So that would be no fun for anyone. This is going to be a bit challenging here if this ends up being what we want to mine, but oh, that's not too bad. It's kind of in a little canyon here. Not quite, but oh, and it's only 2. That part I don't like. So we're kind of hoping this isn't Hadanite, but if it is, we're going to mine it. 0.75 is on the smaller side of our range, but it is a mineable. Yeah, so that would be kind of a double ding for us if it's Hadanite, because, and it is Hadanite. We're gonna mine it because that's what we do. 0.85. So there's kind of one small rock and one on the smaller side. Sorry, there's one small one and one on kind of the normal side size.
Landing gear engaged.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Again, I've said this before, but the landing gear on the Nomad doesn't give us a great sense of where it's misaligned when you try to land it. But, you know, keep the gate down, turn off the engines, make sure it doesn't, kind of float away from you there, and it's fine. So that was just a 3-minute search there. That's good for Daymar. Of course, it's only a twofer, but and these are not fantastic rocks, by the way. That one small one is not the best, but keeping our positive attitude and focusing.
Systems activating. Systems on.
We're gonna try to do this here. No, those are not our rocks, I don't think. I guess they were further down than I anticipated. I overshot that one. That's okay. Oh, they're way down there. Interesting. Okay, well that's better for us. I thought they were up over this ridge. But we did come down in here, so. Okay. Breakity break, flippity flip.
Extraction mode on. Mining mode on. Fracturing mode on. Extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of doing my best here to scoop what I can. But we did catch a bad break. These things just kind of ended up all over the place. Even though we didn't overcharge because they were on that top ridge, you know, we kind of got what we got. And now it's a matter of a cost calculation. You know, is time versus money. And we're running out. This is not a big break. And it's not going to change the game. If anything, it's going to hurt Daymar, and so that's kind of where you kind of have to make a calculation like I am now, and I can do what I can, but I'm about ready to wrap and stow and go. Because this one at a time stuff, and there's not that many left there. I'm leaving a couple, but I think I'm going to call that. And we are going to move on. Because as you can see, I can't see. And you probably can't see that well at home either. This is going to be one of those times where we're just going to have to jump. So we've done 3 runs, and we're ready to start our 4th run. And that's going to mean a jump. Now, one of the things that's nice about Daymar is there are a lot more jump points for us to consider. Magda, I noticed, you know, if we just have 1 or 2, I'm not counting the OM markers, which of course are considerably helpful when you're trying to run to the sun, but it's nice to go to a mining station or to any other jump point, and the more that they're, you know, available to us, the better situation that we're in to start mining and decrease what I'm doing right now, which is time it takes for me to jump. Now I'm going to jump all the way. I think this is going to be completely on the other side. And that's what we want. So let's jump. Start scouting. It still looks like we are definitely on the dark side, so we're going to... So those will be on our side right now. We're looking for something... Yeah. In case you don't know, and I didn't for a long time, when you look at one of those jump markers, if it's solid, that means it's on your side. It's not obstructed by the moon itself, right? And if it's dashed, that means it's on the other side. You're looking through the moon to a marker. So like here, once again, I am not in the sun. So I really want to kind of shoot over to my left here. And this sun is just creeping in. So if I went here, that's going to be, you know, closer. But what I'm really looking for is something like this, which I'm assuming is on the light side. And I might just pick something like this. Bountiful Harvest, yeah. So that should take me all the way on the other side here. And ultimately, that's going to be faster. Now, if you can find an OM station, whatever the number, and you can jump to it, then jump to that. And then you can always keep jumping to the OMs to get to OM1. And then you can find the sun side, because that's the north pole of the moon. So if you can get OM1, and I think OM2 is the south. Yeah, we're still very much in the dark here. Which I don't like. So my strategy of getting on the other side is not helping. Clearly that's the light side. I just came from there. Now I can always do this too and jump to yellow and then just break my jump. And that's what I'm going to do. I want to get out. And then come right back in. So the sun is there. Okay. I might need to use the map here. Yeah, I don't think this is really going to do it either. I'm having a hard time. Sorry, I apologize. I'm having a hard time getting to the sun side here. And I should just have done what is tried and true, which is just to go to the OM station. Because this is just one dark jump after another. So we are not getting anywhere close to where I really want to be, which is, of course, on the other side. And markers are not helping me right now. That's going to be OM4. Okay, good. OM4, we'll take that.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
And now we should find another OM. Yeah, okay. OM1 is the foolproof way of getting to the surface. The sun side.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Yeah, that took a lot longer than I wanted it to. And it would be great if I could jump down. Yeah, see, that's going to be... What's this?
Quantum travel engaged.
We'll see if this takes us out of the sun, and I just undid the good work that I did. I'm trying not to do a jump all the way down or a... Yeah, this will be fine. This will be just fine.
Quantum travel complete.
And I want to head west. And the sun is right above us or right ahead of us. That's good. Be nice if it wasn't. Be nice to have the sun behind us, but we kind of jumped to the wrong side of the sun direction. Start checking some of these boxes because I am not sure. Nope. We're going to blast past these. There's a lot of activity over here. That's good. Of course, that's a cluster of rocks, but there's a 3,000 over there. Okay, this is 3. This is not nothing, but might be seeing kind of the, you know, the part of the game when two teams are pitted against one another and one pulls the lead and they get a little lazy. They get a little lazy. Okay, so this is Hadanite. That's good. They kind of rest on their laurels. Ooh, didn't want to do that. That's manageable. Yeah, so that was a big hit. That took us 10 minutes to do that search. Well, not a big hit actually. I guess in Daymar terms, that's under the average amount of time, which is somewhere around 12 minutes. And again, I'm trying to break as fast as I can because I really think we need to put in a lot of runs.
Systems activating. Systems on.
Okay. All right. Flippity flip. Side mining. You know what I'm going to say. All right.
Extraction mode on. Mining mode on. Fraction mode on.
Okay, we're not going to chase all these down. I'm going to make a calculation here that, you know, we got a little bit of an overcharge on that one. And we're just sitting at 24 SCUs. 20 is kind of the magic minimum number you want to look for, because that's 1/4 of your capacity. So I'm gonna do my best to grab what I can, but we're not gonna get too far away from the ship. We're gonna try to just grab what we can and then get to going, because we're losing sun. And yeah, so it's sad to say, but that's all we're gonna do today on that one. And that's my fault. I overcharged for sure. That's my bad. But sometimes you have to just kind of make a call, and that's the call I'm making now. You know. Ooh, just squeeze that in there. Okay, great. And again, the point is we're hitting the hour mark right now, and I want to try to get just at least one more run in, you know? And it's not looking great. This is really going to pull the numbers down for Daymar, unfortunately, because we have done 4 runs, and we're barely at over 1/4 of a capacity of gemstones. That's a bad situation to be in. And of course you can see how quickly that sun goes down. So I'm going to find west. That's southeast. We're heading in the very wrong direction. So we're going to chase that sun a little bit. And hopefully we get lucky and we find something real quick. Come on, Daymar. I'm always rooting for the moon I'm mining on. I want there to be a good show. And I want to be breaking rocks and stay on top of that. I like this flat ground too. This is what we need. We need to be on this flat ground. There's one right there. Because that will definitely help us. Okay, now that's looks like 5. That would be a good score. But it's Aphorite. Ooh. Death blow. Death blow. That's not what we needed. Daymar, that's not what we needed. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We'll get... that one, I know. I think that's a rock. Ooh, I'm a little afraid to just leave it though, because if it... So I'm just gonna double check this one. We have time. it's just a single, and it's no bueno. Okay. To the sun we go. We're at 1 hour and 6 minutes right now. So we're getting close to wrapping up a session. We've been going as late as like 1 hour 18, like 18 minutes over the hour. So I feel like we could, if we find something here, I'm going to head to both of these because these both could be contenders. Nope, those look like rocks. That's a rock over there too. This could be it. Oh, it's just a 3. And that's about the average of what we've been getting on Daymar today. It's just about 3. We've had a 2 and a couple of 3s. And this is Hadanite. Okay, we're going to mine it.
Landing gear engaged. Engine systems disabled.
Okay, let's rush and rock, huh? Yeah, that was actually a quick one. It only took us about 4 minutes to find this one. So Daymar's been acting a lot like Magda today, in that we've been finding things pretty quickly, and they've been small clusters. But Daymar doesn't, it can't play like Magda. It needs to give us those big clusters, or else it's going to lose. Because we're not making much money here today. Okay.
Extraction mode on. Mining mode on. Extraction mode on. Mining mode off. Mining mode on. Fracturing mode on. Mining mode off. Mining mode on.
Okay.
Fracturing mode on.
We got out of sync here. So I'm going to pop out. Come on.
Fracturing mode on.
That's what I wanted. All right. Okay, we're going to scoop these last little remnant orphaned gems. And I think that's going to be it. We are at 114. And we can't in good conscience just continue on. We got to call this a session at some point. And I think that's what this is going to be. So with what we have, we're going to go sell, of course. It's going to be close. It is definitely going to be close because we ended up doing 5 runs, which is quite a bit. And Daymar was, was and has been winning on the number of runs. And so that'll actually put us in a tie with Magda, because we did 5 runs and Magda had 14 runs and Daymar had 9 before this session.
Engine systems enabled.
And we'll discuss the other stats when we get
Landing gear retracted.
everything sold. So we're going to be adding another 74 minutes to Daymar's total mining minutes. So we'll see what we sell. I don't know. But my guess is that will be, 90, close to 100,000? Which will put us back over the top of Magda. Daymar will go back up and over if we get around 100,000. We're only, what is it, 59, 60. Yeah, we're about 50, little over 40,000 difference right now between the 2 moons. So this is going to definitely be more than that. So we'll hit this ArcCorp mining area 141, and we will sell.
Quantum travel engaged.
So yeah, that's pretty interesting. We'll definitely look at the stats here. Magda has 1 more session, and so does Daymar after this. And then we're going to call a winner.
Quantum travel complete.
And of course, we'll continue to do this. But this won't be the focus of the stream. It won't be as intense of a focus of the stream. We'll still bounce back to the Magda versus Daymar question. And
Fuel 50%.
what I want to do next, though, is continue. I mean, the way it will also continue this by looking at some other moons. Like we might pit Ariel and Aberdeen against one another. Those are the other 2 kind of more notable ones. And we still have to do Walla.
Landing gear engaged.
And so maybe we'll pit Walla. We'll just run Walla and do 6 sessions there. So Hull A, they are doing some cargo trade, I bet. And that looks like a... That's interesting. What is that? That might be someone's box, actually. When you crash. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. You see the landing gears there. Somebody didn't make it out alive. Interesting. Okay, well, we're here to sell.
Engine systems enabled.
No engine systems enabled. What? Sometimes I get a bounce on that key, the I key, and it turns my engines off and immediately back on again.
Engine systems disabled.
And now there we go. Yeah, I'm very, very curious right now of where we're going to end up. Before we do that, we're going to look. Oh, look at that. It's a box. Is there anything in here? No. Unfortunately not. And it's just a beautiful box sitting there that we can't do anything with. I've tried before to load that thing up, but because we're in an armistice zone, I can't use the multi-tool tracking tool, and so we're stuck. Okay, 91. That's about what I was thinking. 100K, somewhere around that. So we mined, and we were mining Hadanite, because that's what we're interested in. We had 5 runs, and we spent 74 minutes. And we made 91,850, and of course we are on Daymar. So let's go ahead and sell now that I've recorded that information. And we are going to do our real-time stats here in just a second. Let's see our stats. Okay. All right. Well, this is interesting. So Daymar did not lose its top place to mine as the top place to mine. So let's look at the stats here. I'll just read them off to you. So Magda, just for review, had 4 sessions. I guess I can throw the scorecard up here. So Magda, 4 sessions, 14 runs, 239 minutes, and 359,700 was made, and that's a profit per minute of 1,505. This is interesting. So Daymar is in tie with the number of sessions, and it also with the number of runs. This brings us all up to current, so it's 14 runs as well. And our minutes are 240 minutes versus Magda's 239. So just one more minute. Our total profit is 404,525. And that means that the profit per minute is 1,686. So by no means is this a shutout. We're about equal in time. I guess what I would say is that Magda gets each of them gets one more session, so we're doing really well about matching the time and the number of runs in sessions too. There is a 44,000 difference here, so we're making just about 40,000 more here on Daymar than we are on Magda at this point. So 40,000, I mean, that's one good cluster. So this is not done. This is not the showing that Daymar needed. Oh, look at that. Is that also a nomad back there? That looks like a nomad. I'm going to go check it out. So this is not the shutout that Daymar could have had if it had given us just a couple of clusters, right? Just a couple of clusters. So there's my nomad, and there's another nomad. How cool is that? Now, of course, I left my ladder down, so I'm going to fix my noob error here real quick. And this guy he's doing some looting. What would he do if of course his ladder isn't down, but if I swapped out, he's gonna get a rock, I bet. Yeah, he doesn't have anything in the back right now. He's gonna go get a rock, I think. And boy, would I love to take this thing. But when you push this thing, you end up kind of getting in the box as you push it. You kind of break the ground, and then you end up inside just like I am now. And then you can't get out, and then you're in the dark. Oh, did I get out? Yeah, I think I can jump out. Oh, okay. Ooh, it's a risky maneuver, and it's really not worth the box, but I was going to jump up on it, but it's moon gravity, so it's really tough to stick the landing. Oh, I think I did. I did. That was cool. Yeah, do you hear that? That's a rock, if I've ever heard a rock before. Nope, that is the STV. He's having a good go. Look at him. That's awesome. I was just going to go over and say hello, but instead I'm going to say goodbye. And I realized I was on the scorecard this whole time. So here's a visual of what I was talking about. You didn't miss much. There's the box I was in for the majority of the time, so you would have really only been seeing, black. Picture the worst mime, reinterpretation that you've ever seen, and that's what you would have gotten there for me out of the last few minutes there footage. So I like to go over here and get myself well lit, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it. This has been another in the continuing series of asking the question, where is the best place to mine Hadanite? Is it going to be Daymar or is it going to be Magda? And today we mined on Daymar, and it is in the lead, but just barely, just about 40,000 credits ahead, and closing about 3,000, 2,000, little less than 2,000 credits a minute in terms of time, and pretty much a dead tie across the number of sessions, which is 4, the number of runs or clusters that we've run into, which is 14, and the total minutes nearly tied, 239 for Magda and 240 for Daymar. So Daymar really, really needs to pull ahead here in its last showing. We're going to do one more for each of these moons. We'll be back at Magda probably tomorrow, and then we'll see either Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll come back here to Daymar to finish this series, at least this phase of the series. We're going to continue. This is just going to be an ongoing series, but I wanted to put a deadline on it so we could kind of come up with an answer. and then maybe we'll kind of do a little bit of a discussion and talk about kind of some of the summary of how I feel about each of the moons. And then we're going to move on to maybe two other moons. Ariel and Aberdeen are in my sights right now as the best next option. And we'll start doing the same thing we did here. And so I'm excited to kind of get to the next chapter of this. I'm excited to see who wins because it's turning into a bit of a race. For a while there, Daymar looked like it was just going to be a shutout, but I think it's going to be a little closer than we had originally anticipated. So, hey, I haven't really mentioned this yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do this in the outro. My name is Yentra, and I do run a Discord server called the Know Nothings. And if you're really interested in saying hello and maybe even being on stream with me, please go there and check it out. The link is in the description. And while you're, navigating this, how about really appreciate a like and a subscribe. Trying to grow the channel. So if you have any suggestions about what you'd like to see me do, when you'd like me to stream, kind of still honing in on a schedule. So all that information, all that feedback and more would be very much welcomed if you have the time. I would really appreciate it. I guess, this is the end of this session. And I'm excited. I almost want to start up the next session right now, but we're going to wait. And you'll just have to stay tuned and stay in suspense just like me to find out, where is the best place to mine Hadanite between Magda and Daymar. We'll continue to get closer to that answer on the next stream. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. It's kind of getting to the evening, so I hope you have a great night. And remember, we're going to stay positive here, so I'll end on a very positive. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching this all the way to the end. All right, we'll see you on the next one.